and you get a $5 Starbucks certificate for being a member. Bill's going to fund this, and we get our money back when we go to the sponsors with 300 million members. Look at this, this is our mailing list. And the sponsors are going to say, that's just everybody in the U.S., so what? I want this cut down into demographics, age categories, what they like, what they don't like, what they buy, male, female, etc., etc., etc. That's what sponsors and marketing is all about today. So we'd be much better off with 2 million passionate bowlers than 70 million casual bowlers, right? My proprietor friends are cringing right now. I don't mean to put the proprietors out of business. We have to have a financial model that lets them stay in business. Okay? But for our sport to thrive, we have to build the fire and the passion. We, coaches, I'm telling you, you can do it. You work one-on-one with me. You either come across as, I got to work another 10 years and I'm going to retire, and I guess this is the best I'm going to do. Or, I really like what I'm doing. Get excited. So what can you do in the meantime? You as a person, as an individual sitting out here in the audience. The last couple of days I heard the comments, we are a horribly negative industry. Oh, I hate to go to bowling meetings. I want to ask you anymore, how you doing? Oh, this is terrible. 10 more years I can retire. Okay. You know what? If you really don't like what you're doing, find something else to do. Do it sooner rather than later. How can you stand life? Oh, this is terrible. I'm going to retire eventually. When you're negative about our sport, what does that say to other people? Look at the chat sites, the PBA chat site. They shut it down. God awful stuff. God, I just don't understand people. We've been that way. Our industry's been that way for those of you who've been in it a long time. We've been that way 30, 40 years. Just kind of the way bowlers are. I don't get it. Build passion. You can do that. You coach, events you run. Bring in the Special Olympics. Bring in your local city, county. Run health fairs. Do things that are not bowling related to get other interest groups into the building and interested in what you're doing, and maybe they'll start bowling. Maybe your bowlers will start helping the Special Olympics, and maybe it'll help both organizations. Eventually, for the short list, then my message to you changes. How can you help us? Well, you can help us by telling us what IOC members around the world you might have a special relationship with. Now, I understand that's maybe nobody in this room. Okay? That's tough. These are people that are important, or at least they think they're important. But I'll bet you, somebody in this room knows somebody on a first-name basis who can make a phone call to some IOC member somewhere and say, hey, let's go out to lunch. Talk about bowling as a sport. That's what we have to have when that time comes. We used to write emails. How many blind emails do you get a day? Like, really? That can't be our system for soliciting votes when that time comes. So there may come a time, maybe we'll have a petition for bowlers around the world to sign. I don't know what value that has. We might do that. But really, we need people who know people. Or who know people who know people. You know what I mean? A connection somewhere where a friend of yours could call up the guy in Malaysia and say, let's go have lunch, talk about bowling. We will need that. Because in the end, you need people within the IOC meetings talking in favor of our sport. Not us. They already know we have a vested interest. We need the insiders to do that. So that's a summary, and I know, Ron, I probably shocked you much longer than they usually are, but it is what it is. I didn't entertain questions, and I know that you and Andrew didn't entertain questions for what they did this week and their impressions, and Frank, I see you got your...
Yeah, I'd like to suggest that why don't we have a worldwide bowling day? And you have these shirts available. Let's make some t-shirts and let's make it show that bowling is a sport worldwide. Let's get all the federations involved. And you can get t-shirts for $2, $3, and you can sell them for $5, make a couple dollars profit. And this is the best way to showcase to the media and the whole world who we are.
All right, I'll give you my honest answer. That might have some value if we're on a short list. Before then, no value. Okay?
Well, I think the media will look at us right away. If everybody in Canada, everybody in the US, everybody in all these other countries in Europe are wearing this, we want bowling an Olympic sport, I mean, it's going to get some media.
Help me deal with the issue, who's going to manage the process?
I can find your person, no problem. And you know the person with it.
Well, I know the person with it. I guess what I'm suggesting to you is I got 111 federations, and I have tickets at the time getting 30 of them to answer my mail. But I can't tell you how much time I spend sending mails and going to dead space. To my members. Great. Thank you for your help. I'm not saying it's impossible, but yeah, one thing that could happen is our members could be starting to be a little more responsive. And again, remember the number, 20 federations that are really functional. The rest are just out there.
That's where that stuff is. Hashtag more bowling.
Somebody taking notes, Ron, and we can have a...
I am.
Okay.
Kevin, there are already companies that know how many people are interested in bowling in the world. And they may or may not have seen it, some of you. 2 or 3 weeks ago, there was a story on 60 Minutes about companies that track internet usage. And they break it down to the minute item, like how many people drink coffee, how many people buy any product you can think of, or follow any sport or any organization that you can think of. So there are many companies right now that already have that information. I don't know how you get it. I guess you have to buy it.
Pay for it, I'm sure.
You have to pay for it, but I'm saying if you need a list of who's interested in bowling and how many people there are, there's a place to look.
I think that's a good idea. I hadn't thought about that, Jim. I will tell you, there's some things we don't know that we should know. We don't know how many TV hours around the world we have because, again, 80, 90 federations don't answer us, don't tell us. We don't know how many lane beds there are in the world or members around the world. You know why? Because their dues, which are almost nothing, are based on the number of lane beds. They all lie their heads up. China one year went from 4,000 to 30-something. Okay, yeah, right. Members, they think their dues are basic numbers, so they lie about that too. That's our problem. We need to go to a different dues basis so we can actually get some honest answers from our federation. But gathering accurate statistics is difficult. And that's the way to go around it. Gentlemen up in the front. Kim, did you get tired? We got somebody here. Yeah, I need some mic up here.
I'm ready.
So would there be a different certification to be World Bowling certified? Or would USBC or the other federations apply? How do you become World Bowling certified?
I don't know yet, and I would presuppose what these gentlemen might think. I really try to avoid influencing directly our core committees or working groups. To me, it's the experts in the room and we'll let them come up with the answer. I think there's several ways you could go. You could anoint based on other approved programs and certification levels, or you can start your own. I don't know. Terry.
We were talking about presentation earlier on was all about technology and moving the world forward. Now it changes. I had a bunch of kids once that reached over 500,000 people by just doing a hashtag campaign, and it wouldn't be a lot to start a hashtag World Bowling campaign.
Absolutely.
I think it's the easiest thing in the world, and it needs some thought behind it and someone to put it together.
Yeah, you're right. I didn't think of that because I'm older.
Kevin, you and Neil talked a little bit the other day, and yesterday and the first day about some of the blaming stuff. Is there any movement towards WTBA standards on where that may be going, or if that information will be looked at anytime in the near future?
I'm sorry, standards on which issue?
Lane maintenance,
Lane maintenance.
the ratios and some of those things.
Well, we have patterns. We have 12 patterns right now that are in our official pattern bank, and those are the only patterns that can be used for world championships. They're available for anybody who wants to use them for other purposes. The ratios are about average about 3-to-1, about like the PBA paddings did, or not the World Championship paddings. Neil has been directed to work on maybe tightening the patterns a little bit, a couple of patterns. We're going to move in that direction possibly. There's probably some things we don't have specs on that we should. Type of oil, which can make some difference, obviously, in lane play. Type of machine can make some difference. So we have some specs, but probably not as much as complete as we should. The chairman of our technical committee is standing behind you, Neil Strum. Neil, you want to wave to people?
Hello.
So really a technical question would be, or suggestion would be best made to Neil, because he's the guy that can start to implement it.
Thanks.
Anyone else? Any questions to the committee or regarding certification or program?
These people are apparently tired.
Yes.
Your brains are fried.
All right. If there's no further questions.
Thank you.
If there's no further questions, we'll go ahead and get started with the closing. I really appreciate everyone coming. This has been a phenomenal experience for all of us. I hope you guys enjoyed this as much as we did. We have a couple, since you stuck it out, we have a couple of raffles.